At this stage, I am not even angry. I'm disappointed. We've just been given, recently, the patch notes for the upcoming PTS for The Division 2. So welcome back to The Division 2. For those of you unfamiliar with my content for the game, I used to do a lot of wall rants. I stand there at a wall and just rant about the game. I've brought that back because I am so disappointed with what I have seen regarding this game. A lot of people will make the excuse they've had to do this during the pandemic. Not an excuse at all, because a lot of other companies have managed to do their jobs efficiently and successfully during the pandemic. Another one is they haven't had a lot of time, but they've had plenty of time. They've had over a year, and they've barely made anything. It's like they've been sitting there on their chairs in their offices, at home or whatever, and they've just been sitting there scratching their head wondering what to do. Anthem, might not be the greatest game in the world, but that game entirely, besides one mission, was developed, created and everything in a little over a year. That's how long the Division 2 developers have had so far, but they do have even more time, because we're just going into the testing on the PTS or the public test servers, so we're just going to be testing what they've made so far. I'm currently, as I'm recording this, downloading or preloading the PTS, so I will be jumping on it. I will be bringing you videos and stuff about it. So if you're not currently subbed to the channel, make sure you do turn notifications on. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. All support is greatly appreciated. And if you want to support me further as a creator, then check out the links in the description. And let's get into these patch notes. So one thing we have to be aware of, please be aware, the patch notes are not final. They will be updated with PTS modifications. Additionally, please note that the new features mentioned below are still being worked on and are therefore not in their final stages. We've heard that so many times before. All these new features listed below will be available to use simultaneously, but we ask you to concentrate your efforts and provide your feedback in accordance with the following phases. So PTS 1 is for countdown and expertise, PTS 2 is for new gear and balance adjustments, PTS 3 is all of the above and bug fixes following phases 1 and 2. A lot of the time they don't bother bug fixing through a PTS, and a lot of the time they don't change anything through a PTS. So looking into the brand new game mode, Countdown, bearing in mind they've been working on this for over a year. And another thing I saw on Twitter is someone said, sarcastically, I can't wait to jump back into this game and play the same missions over and over again. And they replied and said, oh, but what if you have new guns and gear? New guns and gear are not new content. I don't know why they just... I don't know if they are genuinely fucking dumb or if they just refuse to listen to any part of the community. How many times have people said, we want legendary missions, we want some actual new content, and yeah, there's a game mode coming, but listen to this. Countdown is a new 8-player endgame mode for the Division 2. So they've taken over a year to create this stuff. They've lost a lot of players because of what they've been doing, and now they come along with an 8-player endgame mode. So what about the people that are just going to buy the game purely because of this new update? What about those that didn't like the raids and stuff because they were forced 8 players? This is an 8-player mode. One of the worst things they could have done. 2 groups of 4 shade agents are deployed to a power plant to prevent a lockdown. Racing against the clock, the agents must work together to secure the site and stabilize the power plant. Believing their mission is complete, the agents prepare for extraction and are pursued by heavily armed and technologically advanced hostiles. Yay! Yay, we've got some advanced hostiles in there, in a game mode that after you've played it 2 or 3 times you're fucking bored of. I don't understand why it's so hard to bring legendary missions into the game. They even said all strongholds will have legendary available. Manning National Zoo got turned into a stronghold and that still does not have legendary difficulty available. But the overview of this mode is 8-player PvE, timed mission, so you're on a timer, various objectives, so I'd say similar to the summit, randomized encounters and flow on a new, unique map. So they've created one map for one mode in over a year. New gear and weapon drops, which are coming in phase 2. So phase 1, you're using your standard stuff, and only when they progress into phase 2, which might be a couple of weeks time, might be a month or something like that, only then will you get to test all the new weapons and stuff. And it's available through matchmaking matchmaking has had issues across all platforms for the entirety of the Division 2's life. Then we have Expertise. It's a progression feature that allows you to improve the maximum performance of select weapons, gear sets, skill variants, and more. This feature is composed of two types of progression systems, the Expertise level and the Proficiency rank. So each eligible item type has a Proficiency rank, which can be increased either through donations or kill XP. Only when an item type reaches the highest Proficiency rank possible will the agent become proficient with it and be able to increase the grade of the individual items of that type. Every item type has the same amount of Proficiency ranks. Additionally, each agent has a unique Expertise level, which increases as the Proficiency ranks are gained in more item types. Expertise and Proficiency is account wide, so it's just another grinding system. Something that nobody has asked for, yet they've gone and created it because they've always based this game on what they want. They don't care about the players, they never have done. So your Expertise level is agent level. Your Proficiency rank is item type level. Proficient is reaching max Proficiency rank in an item type, and grade is the individual item level. The research categories are weapons, gear brands, gear sets, named items, exotics, skill variants, specialization weapons. Then we have some new gear, so we do actually get to find out what this stuff is before we're able to use it, which is very nice. But the named gear, we have a chest piece called Closer, and the talent on it is Perfect Spotter, so it amplifies your total weapon and skill damage by 15% to pulsed enemies. Then we have a backpack called the Setup. Talent is perfectly opportunistic. Enemies you hit with shotguns and marksman rifles amplifies the damage they take by 15% from all sources for 5 seconds. I mean, there are so many people running around with marksman rifles and shotguns. It's unbelievable how many people you see in the game running them weapons. Then we have some new weapons. We have 3 exotics. We have Dread Edict, exotic variation of the SVD marksman rifle. The talent is full stop. Shooting enemies builds stacks to a cap of 20. Headshots grant 2 stacks. Each stack grants 2% weapon damage and 5% headshot damage. So you can build that up to double your headshot damage. On reload, you clear all the stacks and you gain 5% of your max armor as temporary armor for 10 seconds for each of the stacks removed. Headshot kills with Dread Edict restore all bullets in the mag. This does not count as a reload. So that might actually be decent to run in your builds on the game. Then we have Catharsis. It's a mask. Its talent is Vicious Cycle. Taking damage builds stacks to a cap of 30. Each stack grants 1% weapon damage. Taking damage at max stacks triggers a purge, removing all stacks and status effects, and then dropping a healing cloud, which restores 5% of your max armor for 10 seconds to all allies in the cloud. So these weapons, which you should have buffs for dealing damage with, are just going to keep replenishing your armor. In my opinion, fucking waste of time. I want these things so that when all the stacks and status effects are gone, they drop a damage buffing cloud or something like that, which gives you an extra 5% weapon damage, like for 10 seconds with to all allies in the cloud. Something like that. Why, when I'm losing my buffs and stacks and stuff, why am I getting healing? I don't want it. All you've got to do is just bring back Patience. Anyone remember that talent in the game? The one that just replenished your armor over time. It was such a good talent, but they've had to remove it because they went with talents only being on chests and backpacks because they had to make everything really fucking complicated with Gear 2.0. You guys are going to have to let me know in the comments. Are you looking forward to using your weapon to replenish your armor? Or should your armor stuff, so your chest, your backpack, should that stuff replenish your armor and replenish your health? All that sort of stuff. Should your weapons give you extra buffs to your damage that you're providing? It might just be me. It might be my personal opinion is that it doesn't work. It might be really good when it comes out. Who knows? And we're not going to get to test this stuff until Phase 2 of the PTS. But my point is, weapons should be buffing your damage. I don't think they should be buffing your armor. I think that's the most stupid thing in here so far. But then we have blue screen, which happens to a lot of people's PCs when they play the Division 2, or it has done in the past at least. It's an exotic variation of the Stoner LMG. I'm pretty sure nobody uses the Stoner, and they haven't done, although this exotic might be good. The talent is Disruptor Rounds. Shooting an enemy marks them and adds a stack to the agent up to a count of 50. Shooting a marked enemy refreshes the mark and adds stacks to the agent. When you deploy a non-shield skill, it removes all the stacks on the agent and all marked targets trigger an effect. So if there are 1 to 10 pulse marked targets for 5 seconds, if it's 11 to 25, pulse and disrupt marked targets for 5 seconds. If it's 26 to 49, pulse, disrupt and disorient marked targets for 5 seconds. And if it's 50 stacks, pulse, disrupt and disorient marked targets and all hostiles within 10 meters of the marked targets for 5 seconds. This effect will trigger immediately if any marked enemy is killed. So then we have a whole 2 new named weapons. We have Dare, which is an LMG HKGR9. The talent is Perfect Flatline, and the talent is the same on both these weapons, would you believe? It amplifies your weapon damage by 20% to pulsed enemies. After 2 kills, applies pulse to the next enemy you hit. And then, as I said, same talent, but the second weapon is Kingbreaker. It's a TKB 408 assault rifle. So they did say that they're not final, but they say, oh, you got new gear, you got new weapons, you can go do the same missions with the new stuff, and you're going to feel good about it. What, you're giving us fucking 2 named pieces of gear, 2 named weapons, and 3 new exotics? Yeah, not enough. Really nowhere near enough. There should be way more stuff in this. Then we have adjustments that have been made to the functioning of various talents in order to curtail undesirable behaviours and imbalance. The overview. Modifications to shield skill behaviours. Shields now take significantly more damage in PvP. Shields now irresistibly disorient their user when they're broken. Then they've excluded shields from the in-sync talent. In-sync and perfectly in-sync no longer trigger from shield skills. The text of these talents has been updated. So it's been over a year they're changing some fucking text. And yeah, they've updated Intimidate and Perfect Intimidate talents. The new behaviour is, while you have bonus armour, you gain 1 stack each second up to a max of 7. Each stack will increase your total weapon damage by 5% to enemies within 10 meters. All stacks are lost when you have no bonus armor. The perfect version will increase the max stacks to 8 instead of 7. And for PvP, it's 4% weapon damage per stack instead of 5. And then we have some gameplay adjustments. So those ones they were balance adjustments. This is for gameplay. They have added a disorienting effect to players when their shield breaks. They've updated Intimidate and Perfect Intimidate so that there is a ramp up to their effectiveness. They will now emit shields from the effect of the in-sync talent. They've increased the PvP damage to shields, and repair traps now heal allies for the proper amount. So their design notes. Shield skills have been unbalanced for quite some time and have grown to be a dominant build tactic in both PvE and PvP. You shouldn't be fucking around with the tactics in PvE. You should be helping the players make them even better. Combined with in-sync, shields provide an unparalleled no downsides DPS boost. So in PvP, balance it. PvE, just let us have that DPS. They've always been trying, they've been so controlling over the damage we're dealing, and it doesn't look like it's ever going to stop. But in addition, Intimidate, when combined with various methods of gaining short-term bonus armor, this made it deeply unfair in ambush situations in PvP and led to an undesirable PvE meta as well. I'm not even fucking talking about it anymore. But as such, Intimidate now requires a slow build-up before reaching maximum effectiveness. So that's the entire patch notes. That's everything they have to offer. They did say they're not final, but what else could they possibly add in? As of me recording this PTS is live tomorrow. They're not going to go, oh, we've added Legendary to all missions in the game. They're not going to say that within the space of a day. That would have been put in these patch notes. It will be minor changes, if any at all. So these are almost final. These are like your 0.95s instead of your version 1s. They're really, really close to the final product. And that is what they have to offer after over a year of building this shit up. Having some dodgy build up with hype. Oh, we're going to put out our intelligence annexes and all this sort of stuff. You've got a new grinding feature. You have a few new gear pieces. And you have an 8-player locked PvE game mode. They said there are going to be adjustments across the board. They've changed 3 things for PvP. There are so many metas in PvP that are going to be unaffected by these changes that it's not going to make a difference to the people that were wanting to enjoy it but were being fucked over by the people that were running the metas. So there's nothing positive to come from this. There really isn't. What, you're going to have to play seasons for the next year, and that's if they even bother doing anything after the seasons. This, for spending over a year on this is pathetic. But as I said, I'm not angry anymore. I can't be arsed. And I actually cannot be arsed. I'm disappointed that they think this is good for the game. Like, there is next level delusion in the people that are higher up. So like Yannick has like led a lot of this stuff. Why the fuck have you not listened to your community? What is wrong with listening to the community? How many times have people said we just want new content? There was supposed to be an apparel event at Christmas in 2021. They fucking cancelled that. We were supposed to receive monthly updates. And I mean, we're at the end of March, so why couldn't they carry those on and tell us about the game mode before now? Absolutely nothing they are doing is making sense. But as I said, I will be jumping into the PTS. I will try it and see what I think. I honestly can't see myself having fun. Matchmaking is fucked on this game. There's nowhere near enough players to constantly matchmake and actually find people. I mean, at peak times, you might have an okay time finding players. The PTS, yeah, there might be a lot of people, especially with videos going out from a lot of creators talking about it and stuff. But when it comes into the full game and players have played for a week or something, they're going to be bored shitless. They're just going to leave again. So matchmaking for this 8-player mode is going to die off so quick. Like so quick. It's just going to be the same standard shit that we've been doing for the last 3 years over and over again. But this time with a couple of new weapons and a couple of new ways to put your builds together. But that is it after over a year. I'm going to leave the video there. I'll be back with some PTS footage and stuff. My opinion might change. This is my opinion based on the patch notes. But we don't know. So we're going to have to wait until the PTS. But so far, it doesn't look good at all in my opinion. It's a load of bollocks for the amount of time they've had. They haven't listened to anything they've had put forward in feedback from the community or anything like that. It's just going to be a massive letdown. Or that's at least what I think. But that's going to be it for this video. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it.